Hello, this is a genuine photograph. This is what I've taken myself. This short talk is about the Targeted Individual program and the Gangstalking program and what it seeks to do. A lot of the tactics in the Gangstalking and the so-called psyops, although they are used by intelligence agencies, etc., to keep people in line. There's a bigger picture to this. And what is actually happening at the moment en masse with a lot of targeted individuals, I can certainly speak from my own perspective here, is that the tactics are designed for two reasons. One is to knock you out of your body, okay, to dissociate you. And that is not just to put new programming in. And the other strategy, what they're using, is to lower your energy. I've done a talk on neighbour noise, and some people said to me, well, why would they want to implant electromagnetic material within somebody's walls just to transmit banging to them everywhere you go, or drilling, or creaking doors, or just constant noise and constant harassment, and also other forms of harassment. And this is too because collectively that on its own probably wouldn't do much, but as all the other areas of a targeted individual's life are interfered with in a way that it kind of chains them in a way, stops them from living in a way they'd like to, by torture and punishment, psychological mainly, also physical. And all these things together lower the person's chi. They lower the person's equilibrium. They lower the person's energy, and they knock the person off equilibrium. Right, that goes along with the street theatre and the gangstalking and the dissociation. They're trying to knock you out of your body, okay? And all the other stuff is to lower your chi, knock you off equilibrium. Why? Because there are energies that are seeking to take over people. These energies have been known about for a long time, and they are Luciferic, satanic, demonic, alien, whatever. They are against the human spirit, okay? And these energies run much of the material world. What is happening is, at this point in time, there is an attempted infiltration of human beings by these energies. And this does include other people doing it. I'm not saying that it's all spiritual, because people are implanted with nanotechnology, more than you can imagine. And this is through my own research. I've spent a couple of years now on this and my own experiences. So going back to the purpose of the gangstalking, the purpose of all the tactics, the interfering, the surveillance, the reading your thoughts back to you, the remote neural monitoring, letting you know you're under observation, all these things. It's all to lower your equilibrium, your chi, knock you off balance, dissociate you, bump. These energies can then enter your body. These energies do not have a body of their own. They need to use your body. And they do that. The only way they can do that is by lowering your energy so much and your equilibrium so much that there is a way for them to get in. Because if you're high, if you're happy, if you're normal, as you was before the targeting, the energies are not compatible with their energies. They need a bridge to cross. So they have to lower your energies somewhat. They don't need to do it all the time. They just need to do it enough. And then when you are in abeyance, when you are sleeping, for instance, they may try to enter the body. I've had this experience a couple of times, and it's extremely unpleasant. And there is also nanotechnology used that is implanted within the person, and frequencies as well. And these are all, again, to lower the chi, to lower the equilibrium, and to brainwash the person. It's not just to change the person. A lot of the triggers that I've discovered are just designed to lower your energy, really. So what is the purpose of this? That these energies, these demonic energies, want to enter people. Okay. When people are interested in spiritual paths, for want of a better word, when they're trying to get back, when they're trying to know the true self and the true awareness, and get back, or should I say shed all the rubbish that they've been told, see through the illusion, yeah? The person becomes a challenge to these energies, which are opposing. The world is about duality. So this is a training ground. The world is a training ground, and you have duality. And the energies that are opposing you realizing yourself or getting true knowledge, these energies are very offended. And they seek to, it's a challenge for them. They feel very threatened, so they come back twice as strong. And they want to possess you. They do not want to lose their hold on you, because what is happening is when you are doing so-called spiritual work, you are freeing yourself of the illusion. You are shedding yourself of all the rubbish that is controlling you, that is controlling the negative side of the duality. And they don't want to lose control of you. So that is partly why they make an appearance. And some of the things that happen, they're beyond the bounds of believability. They are occult type things. They are things that, now, these people are not going to target somebody that is already negatively aligned, because they already have them. They're going to go after the people that they know are trying, that are very intent on freeing themselves. So, on the earth, it's a training ground, yeah, okay. And your brain is kind of correlates to the experiences in the earth. People only use a certain amount of the brain. We're taught to believe in this reality, and you use that part of your brain. Anything else doesn't exist. These things, this picture here, yeah, these little things here, yeah, they don't exist, yeah. None of it exists. Things don't materialize out of thin air, you know. Okay, you're only using a certain amount of your brain. That's all you're going to see. People don't want to see the bad side. Like I said, the world is duality. But when you start to open up and use more of your brain, use more neurons, you start to see the bigger picture. Because everything on earth, it contains everything. It contains these things, yeah? It contains the good and the bad. So, majority look away from the bad. Deny it. It doesn't exist. Focus on the good. That works quite well. But if you want to open up your brain and expand your awareness, you start to see the dark side, the other side, the hidden side. It's not that you're doing anything particularly wrong. It's the fact that you are opening up and you are seeing these things. You can't help it. You pull your curtain back, you're going to see the view. You want to keep the curtain shut, you can live with just what you've got. Why pull the curtain back? Because to get to the, I don't know what to get, it's all a shedding, it's all getting rid of the false. So, but I'll just use this, it's easy to explain this way. to get to the higher levels, to get closer to God, to get closer to your true self, you've got to see. I think some people call it I used to call it the Serpent's Gate. It's widely known as the Ring Pass Knot. And these are the challenges. So this Target Individual program is forcing people to not get past that point, to keep the consciousness down, obviously. But it's worse than that, in the fact that what is happening is you have attempted possession going on. These energies that do this, that attempt to possess people, need, I'm repeating myself just to get back to a certain point, to lower that individual's energy, lower their equilibrium. And as this is going on with thousands and thousands of people, it's obviously some kind of takeover, It's obviously some kind of Luciferic takeover, which does use technology, definitely. And it's not all technology, maybe it is. Who's to say? But some of the things that are happening, and this is where it's going to get really hard to believe, but this is my experience. What I find crazy enough is that I've been able to take this picture. I have got so many stories that I could tell that are just beyond the bounds of believability, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. So what I've experienced is, one thing is that I have had objects just appear out of thin air in my home. And everything is secure. And sometimes, in this instance, what happened is I went to bed, went to sleep. And there was a very unpleasant experience while I was sleeping. And I found that when you ask for help from the divine and God, that these energies come back in full force. Anything you do to free yourself and to make progress, they try their best to undo it. They really do. They come back. They try their best to undo it. And they will use whatever they believe you love to torture you with. Yeah? So after that experience, I woke up and there was the materialization. This is going to sound crazy, but this has been happening for about 2 years now. Not so much the attempted takeover when I'm sleeping, but the materialization of 20 pence pieces in my home. I know for a fact there was no 20 pence pieces on my bedroom floor. Yeah? I know that for an absolute fact. And they just materialise. This has happened for a couple of years. It's always 20 pence pieces. Besides all the other strange events. Now, what happens also in my daily life, and it probably happens to others as well, but is people will ask me for 20 pence. I've got a lot of homeless people, and some of them look a bit eyes glazed, a bit not with it. I don't know if that's spice or what, but for some reason they ask for 20 pence. Have you got 20 pence, please? You got 20p. I just need 20p. They don't need any more than that, any less. Have you got 20p? So that is like, I didn't explain. And then the 20 pence pieces, if I give them out, not all the time, but what is happening is when I give them out, they are coming back to me in my house. They're just reappearing. I'll tell you a story also. This happened many years before I was targeted. I'd been meditating and I'd had a lovely experience where I became if you're used to meditating, you know it happens. You become the scenery, you become the trees, you become the sky, you become everything. You realise that you are in everything. And I went out, I was in the countryside, I came out of there, and I didn't have much money at the time, and I was budgeting. I was thinking what I could afford and what I needed, and I was going to the shops, and it's very strange. This woman approached me, and she said to me she needed £1. She'd run out of petrol. She just needed £1. I said, you're not going to get much petrol for £1, are you? And she said, well, I actually need £5. I'm just going to ask people for £1 every time I see them. So I gave her a £5 note. That was before what I've just explained. The time when I'd been meditating, it was windy, and I was going to the shop, I was budgeting. And in the same place, on the same street, at that same point where that woman had asked me for money, and I gave her a £5 note, there was a £5 note. This is about 3 or 4 weeks after that. And it was windy, and there was a £5 note on the floor. Could be coincidence. I just thought it was extremely unusual. And these 20p pieces that just materialise, I don't want them, I throw them away. I don't want anything off these, whatever they are. There's many things. I mean, this is going to be very hard to believe. But I've had unusual experiences. Unfortunately, I've had people with me. On one occasion, my friend, someone I know, not very well, but I do know the person, she dropped something, and I didn't see it disappear. She told me it disappeared into thin air, and it was a pencil, and I said, right, yeah, okay, you dropped it, it's disappeared into thin air. She was really shocked. I didn't see it disappear, but I did see it reappear out of thin air on the floor. It just reappeared right in front of my eyes out of thin air. That was in, I think it was 1993. So the point of this talk, gone a little bit off thing there, is to let other tagged individuals know, they probably do know anyway, that this world that we're presented with, it's not all there is. There's, in the Bible, it says there are many mansions there are many rooms and many mansions within my Father's house. And to say that these things do not exist, to say that certain things are not possible, is to close off certain areas of your brain. You're just not using those areas of your brain. And that tagged individuals, it is attempted possession by what can only be termed as a satanic, luciferic, alien, archon, whatever, demonic energy. And however you describe it, it's what it is. I think words limit things. And this, I believe, because it's not just happening to me, I listen to other people's stuff that they put on, and I read books by other TIs, and there's a similarity with the lowering of the TI's energy and the manipulated dreams, etc. And the theme of Satanism or whatever, you know, like what's been done to people, including myself. So I don't think this is to be afraid of. I think it's definitely a challenge, and it is an attempted takeover to bring these energies onto Earth through people, because they have no body. They need to use your body. They need to inhabit you. I I have seen, and you will possibly have as well, in gangstalking, people, one of the things that these energies can do is they can take over somebody and speak through them, use them as a mouthpiece. Without their knowledge. That split second that person is off, through no fault of their own, because consciousness is an on-off thing. Yeah? Then awareness is an on-off thing. So awareness is constant, but the conscious mind is on and off, yeah? And these energies will speak through people. And there is a possibility. Now, I have a very strong suspicion that the people indulging in gangstalking have been chipped with nanotechnology and that they are able to be controlled easier. And these energies that take over people, like the puppeteer, that they use the person as a mouthpiece to speak through in order to further their agenda. And I've particularly seen this with children, and it is horrible to see, because you don't associate children with things like that. And you just don't want to see it. And it's obvious to me that these children have either been implanted with nanotechnology, and they are on what I call the subliminal sound network. They're linked up to it like a mobile phone network, and they're being programmed with it. Which is a parallel to these energies entering into them and using them as a mouthpiece. Like I've said in one of my videos, they just shout out things just as you go past. Also, because I am a TI, I do know for a fact that there is nanotechnology in my body. So, stuff that's been done to my ears. So many things have happened to me that are abnormal, that could be part of this, most likely are, in order to do these things to me, to create a false reality for me. And this attempted takeover of people, with the street theatre, it's quite possible that these energies, either through the chips and silent subliminal sound, or just through possession, I think chips are involved definitely, are just being used. They have no knowledge what they're saying. They don't really know what they're doing the street theatre for. And then, bump, they're back. And I believe that is why they're trying so hard to dissociate TIs and knock them out of their body, in order that they can just use them at will as a mouthpiece or as a remote controlled person, so they can puppeteer them and get them to participate in street theatre and directed conversation, etc. All in order to bring these energies, I believe, these luciferic energies, alien energy, whatever you want to call them, that by their fruits you shall know them. You don't have to give them a name. You know they're not good. And they're about overriding the human will, taking possession of the human body. I don't know if it's full-time possession, because I'm not possessed. Otherwise I wouldn't be making this recording, if that was true. I do know it's very strongly been attempted, and I think TIs are aware that it's going on. And that's great, because you've got the opportunity to nip it in the bud. You've got the opportunity to fight it, to do something with it, yeah, to ask for assistance. Now, these energies, they've rejected God, obviously, else they wouldn't be doing this. And I'll just give one quote by Dr. David R. Hawkins. It says, the archangels, just the passing thought of an archangel has enormous, he uses that word, enormous power. And that is true, that the higher energies, obviously God, Jesus Christ, the archangels, they have much more power than these demonic beings, these energies. And that is why these energies seek to take you away from God. And they want to get in your body and puppeteer you and use you as a mouthpiece, because they know their time is up. They know that serious, devoted students they can't control them anymore. They've lost control of the reins, so to speak. And that is why they're just putting so much into this and nanochipping everybody. And because the people that are doing this, they are basically, they are these energies. So they've been using these energies, but now these energies are using them. I mean, they obviously have given permission. So that is why it is so extreme, because the energies of God and the energies of the archangels are so powerful. But because these energies respect free will, so why is the world in a mess? From what I've looked into, my take on it is that it's free will. People are not consciously, verbally inviting the presence of these energies into their lives. So if these energies, if my take on it has got any worth, then these energies are much more higher and much more powerful than the lower energies. And the lower energies feel threatened by the higher energies. So they go all out. Yeah? Then it would make sense to use our free will to consciously make a connection with the higher energies and ask for the assistance and invite the assistance of the archangels, of God, of Jesus Christ, and of our guardian angels as well. If my take on it has any credence, then these energies, these dark energies, they obviously can't use God's energies because they're opposed to it. It's the duality, which is what the earthly life is alleged to be about. The world is full of duality. We are not in heaven. We are not in a celestial realm. We're not in an astral level either. Okay. I've said some things that sound pretty far out. But if you've listened to this far, thank you very much. I'd also like to add something about what's been happening. I don't have a computer online. I don't, because of the hacking and stuff like that. It's just too much. So I use public computers. Obviously, I'm put off. I get gang-stalked and all kinds of things. They don't want me to upload things. They don't want me to share information. They certainly don't want me to access any help, because what is happening is I had 84 comments for review. And obviously some of those comments were going to help me, or they was going to somehow assist me, or be worthwhile for me to read. Because what happened is I replied to about 2 or 3 of them, and then they just vanished. The whole list just vanished of these comments. I didn't even get to read them. That's happened twice. The first time it happened, there was a link, and it said, we've used your voice on one of our videos about targeted individuals. I hope you don't mind. It's here. You can check it first before we put it on, or we'll take it off if you don't like it. I can't remember what it said, but I clicked on the link like an idiot. Whoa! Everything disappeared. All my videos went private. And this thing just flashed up dead quick on screen, and it said, that's what you get for clicking on a duff link. So that's the first time it's happened. After that, just like I said, all my comments just disappeared. So they are held for review for obvious reasons. Because if I don't hold them for review, I just get so many perps and so much misinformation that I like to sort through it, and get rid of the perps. So they are held for review, so they won't appear straight away. However, if they don't appear within, say, 2 months, then it might be worthwhile making the comments again, because they what I've just explained happening. Okay, thank you. Take care. God bless.